I know, I know. In the past, I have said that I do not vend, that I think vending is not an effective use of time as a business. But with that said, these are the three biggest reasons why I would vend, or why I look at people who sell at conventions and card shows and I get jealous. I think these are the three most compelling reasons to do that in terms of Pokemon card business, from my opinion, from my perspective. So yeah, we're gonna chat about vending. But what's up, guys? If it's your very first time here, my name is TJ. I run this business called PokePass or TCG. I buy and I sell cards like this, Pokemon cards. I just picked up a little tiny collection tonight. Someone dropped by. They did have this card though. I thought this card looked super lame when I saw pictures of it, but in person, it looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm excited that I finally got to lay eyes on this one, along with this Shinji Kanda Oricorio promo. I don't know, cool cards. Maybe it's not. Maybe perhaps I was too harsh. Anyways, I buy and sell cards like this all the time, and then in this YouTube channel, I shoot videos helping you guys get your Pokemon or trading card business off the ground, primarily giving you tips on how to sell on TCGplayer. That's where I do most of my sales. I've sold over $300,000 worth of cards, which is kind of crazy. And I do this all part-time from my basement in Minnesota. And I drink lots and lots, copious amounts of Diet Mountain Dew. That's what keeps me going, alongside all sorts of other things. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. If you enjoy this kind of content, press like, subscribe to the channel, all of that. Closing in on 4,000 subscribers pretty soon, which is crazy, but nonetheless, here we go. So I do not vend. I've never vended a show before. And mostly because, many of you guys know this, as the title of my store suggests, I'm a pastor. I work at a church, and so every Saturday night I have 2 church services to run, and then every Sunday I have 3 church services to run. So weekends are not really available for me, and then on my days off, which are typically Thursday and Friday, when I'm not doing card stuff, I am hanging out with my family, and so it is a really big ask to take away an entire weekend and go sit and sell cards in person. That's why I prefer to do it in the comfort of my basement in the evening after I've spent time with my children and my family, and I get some time to work on whatever I want to work on. So for me, and the amount of margin that I have in terms of temporal margin, time, I don't have a tremendous amount of time where I can just go sit at a convention center and sell cards and sit behind a table and, you know, shoot the bull with people. And like that sounds fun. That sounds really cool, but I don't have that. And so in the past, I've been like, hey, not a huge, not a great use of time. And I still think I stand by that. I still think, I don't know that you get what you put into it from like a time perspective. I certainly have no issues liquidating cards of any kind. At a certain time, they will all sell for sure if I list them on TCGplayer. It just comes down to, you know, profit margins being slim, and if you vend in person, maybe you can buy at a higher percentage, then you can move more. I don't know. So like those are some of the things to consider. Anyways, but from my perspective, when I hear about people who have these incredible stories of vending, these are the 3 things that make me the most jealous, where I'm like, wow, that'd be cool. That's what I'm missing out on. The first one is community. The community piece is absolutely something that I miss out on by vending in my basement. Now, I have been able to create community here with a lot of you guys on the channel. We go live on every Sunday night, and we rip open cards. I give business tips. I answer questions. I talk about my time, you know, talk about the weekend at church, talk about all sorts of stuff, answer whatever questions you guys have. And so that's been a cool way for me to find community. And then I've been able to connect with a lot of you guys through YouTube or Instagram or whatever. So that's been great. And I love that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm a pastor. I like connecting with people. I like hearing people's stories. I like, you know, chatting with people, all that stuff. And that's what you get to do a lot of at card shows. You get to see the dad and his kid who are getting into the hobby, and you get to answer their questions and explain the different things and rarities and all of that. Like those kind of questions, I love answering. I love helping out people in that space. And I don't get to do that when I sell cards, you know, through this massive portal online. I would get to do a lot more of that in person, and you get to build community with people who go to these card shows consistently, and they see you there, you sell to them, and you become someone that they look for, where they're like, oh, that's TJ, like sick, I'm gonna go stop by his booth again. Like, and so that is something that I think is a huge W for in-person vending, is the ability to create community with the people who frequently go to card shows. Absolutely. And you get to create community and bump shoulders with and hang out with other people who vend. So you get to start conversations with other business owners. You get to ask them what's moving for them, what kind of stuff they like to sell, what kind of stuff they like to buy. You get to start to connect with other people who are also in this business space, which again, I get to do, but it's just different because all of our communication, most of our communication is online. So that's something that I absolutely miss. That's the number one thing that I miss by saying like, hey, I don't have time to vend. The second thing, and from a financial perspective, this is by far the biggest thing that I miss out on, is the buying aspect for so many different reasons. But if you are a collector, oftentimes what a collector will do when they have a large collection that they're trying to liquidate is they will go to a card show and they will go up to a booth, someone who's vending, and they will find some stuff that they want and say, hey, I have to get rid of all of this stuff. I've got all of these. Let me take these two out. I've got all of these cards. I've got some EXs. I've got some full arts. I've got some full art trainers, whatever. I just want to give them all to you. Give me a percentage of the market, and then I'll buy from your store. That happens all the time. Now, at those card shows, a lot of vendors do not also sell online. So small, cheap, insignificant cards like this Oricorio EX, regular Oricorio EX, a lot of vendors would consider this bulk. Like they just don't screw with anything that's this cheap. But because I sell online, I deal with stuff like this all the time. I heavily mess with cards like this. In fact, I built my business off of selling EX cards and full arts and cheap cards for sure. So I absolutely can liquidate all of those things. So even if I wasn't selling at card shows, just the ability to go and be a consistent avenue for people to sell. So as a business, you have a consistent place to buy from people, like that would be a huge win. And again, most people who vend do not sell online as well, so they don't have a great avenue to liquidate all those cheaper cards, so they're just not interested. So sometimes people will go to vending tables with all of these cheaper cards, and the vendors will just pass and be like, oh, not interested, nope, like I only want your expensive stuff. Where I could buy all of it. And then at that point, when you know there's not a ton of competition, you get a great deal on all of those cards you want to buy. And at a vending, at a convention, people want the money then and there because they want to go take that money and they want to go spend it at another table because they saw that, PSA 10 Magic Carp that table had for a good price, and they want to get the cash and they want to buy it right then, right there, right now. So that's probably the biggest financial thing that I miss out on, isn't selling, because sure, I could bring some stuff and I could do a few $1,000s in sales for sure, and it'd be fine, and I would pay less fees on that because you don't pay fees, obviously, you're just paying the table fee or whatever. But I am not going to have any issues liquidating any of my cards online, whether it's through my pro seller site or through TCGplayer marketplace. Everything's going to sell. At some point or another, I would say everything that I buy gets sold within like a 6-month time of buying it. And 6 months is on the high end. Like I would say it's very, very rare for me to hang on to something for longer than 6 months. Most of the time it's gone significantly before that, especially with things like Black Friday coming up, Cyber Weekend. I'm anticipating to sell a lot of my stuff. So I do miss out on the buying aspect of vending for sure. And then the last part is the social media aspect of it. Vendor POV content is kind of all the rage right now. People love watching vendor POV content, and I get it because I like it. I think it's super entertaining. It's fun to see people do the negotiation piece of the hobby. And in fact, that's something that I feel like I'm pretty decent at, and I don't really get to showcase those skills to you guys or show you guys how to do that because it just feels, I don't know, maybe I just need to get over this, but it just feels weird for me to like have a GoPro on or have my phone out when I meet someone up to like check out their cards and negotiate with them. It just feels a little strange, where I feel like nowadays so many people make POV content as far like vendor POV stuff, to where it's not uncommon to show up at a table and know that there's a camera or this micro or this GoPro situation or whatever. That a lot of people expect that, to where it's a little less. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna freak someone out if I show up and it's like, hey, like I'm recording. I don't know. So maybe that's something I need to get over. But I wouldn't have to get over that if I was vending. I could absolutely just record that and then make some cool content for you guys and showcase how some of those negotiations go down, which I think would be really cool for the channel. So that's the third thing that I miss out on. So again, the community piece, which is something that I truly, truly do miss out on. Like, it's a bummer that I don't get to do that. The buying piece, because you get to buy so many cards when you vend, for sure. I've had friends of mine who have done vending and they're like, dude, you're missing out. You have to start vending. You have to, because I know you've got the capital and you can buy, and a lot of people will try and liquidate their stuff at conventions and you're missing out. It's like, yeah, I know I am, but I do something very, very fulfilling on the weekends and I do not want to give that up, man. You got to pull me out of that building. I'm going to be kicking and screaming because I love it so much. And then, yeah, the social media piece, vendor POV content would be very fun. But yeah, so that's why. So if you are a vendor, what is your favorite thing about vending? And if you don't vend, would you ever consider buying the supplies, getting the stuff to put on your table, the display case, and would you ever consider going and spending a weekend vending at a show, or do you think that that's not a good use of your time? I would love to hear what you guys think about vending down in the comments. But I've got a lot of cards to list, a lot of cards to sort, things to do, diet do, to drink. So I'm going to head out. But I believe with my whole heart that Jesus loves you, that he has an incredible plan for your life. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.